Let's look at when and how to use the function AND in Excel. Now, the function AND is used when you need two or more conditions to be true. That means if one or more of the conditions is not true, then it will return false. Okay, so for it to return true, all the conditions must be true. Now, let's take an example. Now, assuming you wanted to know your employees who are female, at the same time, they have 10 or more years of experience. So we are going to set these two conditions using AND. Is that okay? So to do that, we are going to take it for the first employee, that is Kwesi, right? So what we do is we enter equals. Then you type AND. Okay. Then you open a bracket. Are you with me? Now we are going to enter the first logic. Now, the thing is, we want to know if the first employee is a female, isn't it? And at the same time, if he has 10 or more years of experience. So this is what we do. We click on the first employee's gender. So we click on the cell that contains the first employee's gender. That is cell C2. Then we say equals female. Now the female, we are going to put it in double quote. Is that okay? So we enter female. Then we close the quote. Comma. You get it? Then we enter the second logic. Now the second logic is that, is he having 10 or more years of experience? So to enter that, we are going to click on the first employee's number of years of experience. Okay. Then we say greater than or equal to 10. We say 10 or more years. So that is greater than or equal to 10. Then we close the bracket. Now look at something. I put a female in quotes, and then I didn't put the number in quotes. The female is a string. Is that okay? Text. So we put it in quotes. Is that clear? Then we hit on the enter key. So the first one returns false. The reason is that the first employee is not a female and it doesn't even have 10 or more years of experience. You see that? So to do it for the others, we just click on the first one. We are going to copy the formula used for the first one and paste it for the others. Now there are several ways of doing that, but look at this. You come down to the tip here. You see that initially it was white, right? But when I come to the tip down right corner here, it turns to black. So you left click, hold and drag to the last. Is that okay? You drag down to the last. So when you leave it, you see that the formula gets pasted to the other cells. Okay. Now look at something. Here we only have 14 employees. If our employees were more than 1,000 or something, do you think it will be easy dragging down to the last, or don't you think it will be time consuming? So for that matter, let me show you another way of doing that. Just come to the down right corner here, okay? Then you are going to left click on it, but it should be double, okay? So you double click. So when you do that, you see that the formula gets pasted to the other cells. Have you seen that? Let's quickly look at the ones that return true. This one returns true. So it means that the person is a female. At the same time, the person has 10 or more years of experience. Have you seen that? Yeah, this is 19. When you look at this, the person is a female, alright. But when you look at the second condition, her years of experience is not even up to 10. That is why it returns false. You see? Is that okay? Now what if you wanted it to return some specific value? You see that by default it returns true or false. Have you seen that? But what if you wanted to specify something precisely? That is, let's say you wanted the ones that are true to return qualified, and then the ones that are false to return not qualified. Something like that. What if that's what you wanted? So let's see how to do that. Let's do it in the next column, okay? Now for this one, since we want to specify that the ones that are false should be not qualified, and the ones that are true should return qualified, then we are going to use the if function in addition with the AND function. So let's see how to do that. So to do that, this is what you do. You enter equals, then you bring in the if first, okay, the if function first. Then you open a bracket. Now within the bracket, we are going to enter the AND function. Is that okay? So let's type AND. You see that? Then you open brackets. Then inside the bracket for the AND function, that is where you state your logic. You get it? So now let's state our logic there. So we are going to say if this cell, okay, where the gender is cell C2, is equal to female. So how do we enter the female? We put it in quote, isn't it? So female. Then we close the quote, comma. Then I click on the experience cell, that is cell E2. So the second logic is that cell E2, which is the experience, should be greater than or equal to what? 10. You see. Then I close the bracket. Then I bring in comma, then I give a single space. Now what I'm saying is that it should check if these two conditions are true. If these two conditions are true, that is end. The two conditions are true. It should return qualified. So I'm going to put that qualified in quote. Okay, so it should return qualified. You see, let's close the quote. Then comma, let me give a single space again. Now, this time around, we are now going to write what it should return. If you see this place, we are saying, say, if the person is a female, at the same time, the person has 10 or more years of experience, instead of returning true, it should return qualified. Else, if it is not true that these two conditions are true, then it should return the other value, which is not qualified. So let me just use MQ for now. Okay, you can write it in full, in quote. Then you close the bracket. You see that? This is simple. You are basically saying that it should check if the person is a female, at the same time, the person has 10 or more years of experience. You should check the two conditions together. Okay, that is end. To check if the two conditions are true. So if the two conditions are actually true, it should return qualified. Else, it should return not qualified. You see that? So when I hit on the enter key, you see it returns not qualified for false. You see. So when I click on the first one back, and then I come to the down right corner here, it's either you click and drag or you just right click. That's you double click. Okay. So when I double click, I get the others. You see that? So we can see those who qualify for that position. Okay, it could be a position, it could be anything. We just wanted to know female who have 10 or more years of experience. The condition can be different depending on what you want to achieve. Okay, so set some conditions or logic for yourself and try your hands on that. Okay, so in the next tutorial, we are going to look at the if function itself. Okay, when it is used, how it is used. Okay, several ways in which we can use it. We are going to look at that. Thank you and see you in the next tutorial.